Okay, here we go.
Holy crap, it's that time at last. You chose to listen to the Planet Mikey podcast. While at the market today, Mikey bumped into his old radio friend Bob, the guy that fired Mikey, the #1 rated guy in the city. So we're about to hear the story. Please hit that subscribe. So here he is with the story, Mikey!
I got a lot of stories. I got stories today. Luckily for me, I don't have Trevor's story because he's having a shit year. Bill Smith.
What?
Unbelievable. The work you do to make this broadcast award-winning. Congratulations on that, and I'd like to give you $15 extra this week.
Well, you're supposed to give that to Vinny Popolopupolo.
I know, I owe him the 15, but I'm going to give you his, just put him on hold.
All right.
He's out there in Vegas. What are you going to give a shit? Right. Welcome, everybody. We are, by the way, we're sponsored by, as you know, if you've been listening to this podcast, the greatest coffee cake in the world, my grandma's coffee cake, which is unbelievable. The unbelievable product, 1-800-8-GRANDMA is their phone number. You can call them anytime, or you can go to their website and order a cake, okay? Do it for us. Do it for you. Oh. Do it for you. But we have openings, and we're going to fill them very quickly for advertisers, Smitty.
Yep.
For example, I was watching TV. I saw an ad for Jardians.
Yeah.
And I thought, why don't they sponsor? I'm a little fat. Why don't they sponsor this podcast? And then I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, well, do I want to have swelling around my anus and genitals? Because every time you see the disclaimer, it scares you. Some people get swelling and irritation around their anus and genitals.
No, you don't want that, Mike.
With all due respect to Jardians, I'm sure it's a fine product, but I don't want that shit. Oh. I don't need that shit.
No.
I like
you look fine.
My anus and genitals are fine right now, and I want to stay that way.
You know, they've been fine for 10 years, Mike. Why are you wearing that shirt?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you asked.
You no longer work at that place.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't. And you know what? I got a whole story about that, and I'm going to tell you the whole background of why I'm wearing this shirt today.
Straighten that out so we can see that logo a little bit. There it is. Yeah. WEEI.
Yeah, look at how old. This is an 8:50 a.m. This is an old shirt.
Yeah.
I never throw out clothes.
Well, it's pretty obvious, Mike.
After they get sweaty, stinky, and ripped, I bring them to my neighbor's house and I say, you want any of this shit? There's a big story. Yeah, because today, in addition to being Juneteenth,
oh yeah, big
is
day.
The 10th anniversary of my unceremonious dismissal from the radio station at which I'd worked for 23 years, which is 2.3 decades, Smitty.
Yeah.
So I know what I'm talking about. I did the math. But first, I want to tell you that, with all the issues I've been having, and I've had a lot of issues this week.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I got a whole list. I solved one of them, which was the slow leak in my my right rear tire in my Lincoln.
Oh, isn't that the leak that Pro Automotive was supposed to fix?
They didn't.
What happened?
No. What I did was I went and I found my old friend Darren Cummings over in Watertown.
Yeah.
And for a long time, and I met him when I used to go to the Halfway Cafe. That's where I met my wife. Watertown was my hangout.
He's over at Express Tire?
He's at Express Tire.
Yeah.
And right before this broadcast, you, in your professionalism mode, and I recorded kind of a spec commercial to indicate my joy at having my right rear tire repaired by a true professional. And I would like them to be an advertiser on this podcast.
So we play the commercial?
Yeah. It's a 30-second commercial.
It is, yeah.
We did it just like that because Smitty's a wizard. Let's hear this.
All right.
This thing.
Let's see if we can do this here. Hold on.
I'm sure you can do this.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, what was that?
I have no idea. It was you.
Some Chinese guy?
Drive with confidence. Express Tire and Auto Service.
The people you trust with important jobs, like your doctor, lawyer, your family and friends, but what about your vehicle? For 27 years, Darren Cummings and the trusted pros at Express Tire have been doing it right and right away. You can trust Express Tire and Auto Service, Main Street, Watertown, to be honest, fair, and friendly. Ask any of their happy customers, like me.
Drive with confidence. Express Tire and Auto Auto Service.
Hey,
So that's like a true story.
a true story. Well, everything I always say in this podcast is true.
You sound like a professional broadcaster, Mike.
Except what I just said about my anus and genitals. That wasn't true.
Well, that was Jardiance.
That was kidding around. But no, Darren, when I lived in Waltham, I used to go for all my repairs over there, tire stuff, everything. They do everything. You know, it's not just tires. It's steering, brakes, every single thing. So I'm back in Watertown now.
So basically, you can drive with confidence?
I can drive with confidence.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, at Express Tire and Auto, 433 Main Street in
Drive with
Watertown.
confidence. Express Tire and Auto Service.
Now, whenever I mention them, you can just play that.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll be great. No, they're great people over there, and I've known them a long time. I've known Darren since 2001, so 25 years. Unbelievable.
Is that him right there?
That's him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Darren, and he's smiling because I was cracking some dad jokes. Now, today is Juneteenth. Now, I don't understand, Smitty, why it's called Juneteenth. Why don't they just pick a teenth and say, okay, June 19th is
Because they had to be cool.
Liberation Day for now. The history of Juneteenth, of course, is Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863.
Yeah.
On January 1st, so it became all slaves are no longer slaves; they're free. Okay,
Yeah,
that was the
they-
big moment. But the people in Galveston, Texas, for some reason, didn't find out until June of 1865. So they put in a couple extra years of slavery because there was no internet. There was no Pony Express going down there to Galveston. So that's why this holiday came about, because they finally got word when the Union general walked in there with a piece of paper saying, "Well," and they were like, "Where have you been for 2 years?"
And Joe Biden made it a holiday.
And Joe Biden made it a holiday.
There you go.
Actually, Trump had it on his agenda to make it a holiday, but then Biden won the election, so then he did it,
Yeah.
which is great. But Juneteenth is celebrated now nationwide as a holiday. My wife has the day off from work.
Yep.
I let her sleep in. I quietly escaped the house to record this podcast so she could sleep in. She works very hard. And people around the country celebrate with festivals. They have parades. They have warm family gatherings to celebrate Juneteenth. And there's an occasional, sometimes there's a celebration at a Waffle House, a melee or something.
Yeah.
But you can celebrate Juneteenth any way you want to, because it's a holiday and I think a viable holiday, unlike Flag Day. I mean, why would you 4th of July?
Yeah.
It should just be automatically Flag Day, right?
Yeah.
But no, they have a special day, Flag Day.
The 14th of June. It's also the president's birthday.
This year it is.
Yeah.
80 years old, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's older than me and you and everybody else we know. So anyway, happy Juneteenth to everybody who is celebrating that today, this warm and wonderful day. I got some news stories for you, a couple of them. Do you mind?
Wait a minute. Did you say news?
News. And now the news. Here's Dirk Rambone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dirk Rambone with the Planet Mikey newscast. This guy named Joseph Ferrari, he has a nickname for procrastinators. And, I can relate to being... I've been a procrastinator for a long, long time, Smitty.
Yeah.
Going way back in my radio career, I was a procrastinator. It's better than being an amateur inator.
That's what they say, yeah.
So I got a letter one time inviting me to the annual Procrastinators Convention in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. I decided maybe I'll go next year. But anyway, if you're a procrastinator, this guy studied the psychology of why some people put off completing tasks. And because he's not a procrastinator, he got right to work exploring the causes of procrastination across various cultures and demographics. Now, this is very highly informational and educational.
Sounds like it, Mike.
First of all, this guy's written books about it. 20% of people, he says, are procrastinators, which is a real high number. I mean, that's a higher number than queers or drunks. It really is. It's a big number. Anybody can be a procrastinator. It doesn't matter what culture you're from. It doesn't matter what country you're from. But they say that for example, those in cities can procrastinate just as much as anybody else out in the country. But the people like farmers, they have to go to work. If they don't go out there and pick those crops, they get rot. So the people who don't, like a blue-collar worker, a carpenter, if they don't do the work, they don't get any money.
That's true.
But people who are on a salary, they will procrastinate the shit out of everything because they can. And if you can, and they make it easy on you, then you will. Ferrari often hears people blame their procrastination on technology. He hears people say that modern lives are just busier than they used to be. He says that's bullshit, and that's an insult to our ancestors. They had to get up at 6 a.m. and fix the fence and feed the animals and get the hay baled and plant the seeds and get the roof done, and they had to can all the goods they've grown. And they were busy all day. And get firewood, never mind keeping the house warm. So anybody that says that it's because we're busier that people procrastinate more, they're full of shit. The answer, the bottom line, according to him, is that procrastinators are just really great excuse makers, which is me. Somebody used to say to me, "You're a poor excuse for a human being." I said, "Well, let me answer that." But you don't procrastinate, Smitty. You would knock out thousands of commercials every month for WRKO, WEEI, WAAF, all the stations in the Intercom family, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it's family.
You would take care of all the business, and they would go, "Oh, my God, Smitty, you're so fast at
Yeah,
that
they
shit."
would come in and say, "Oh, you're the best," as long as they were getting what they wanted.
Well, yes. Well, yeah, they knew, and they'd bring gifts. This news story came in today, very disturbing. Very disturbing if you're a fan of Carlos.
And now more news with Mike Adams.
Carlos Mencia. You know who he is?
Oh, yeah.
The mind of Mencia. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Well, he's been arrested for being one of, quote, California's biggest tax scofflaws. The mind of Mencia creator and star was taken into custody Thursday morning in Encino, California. L.A. District Attorney Nathan Hochman, I know somebody by that name, announced that Mencia was charged with 12 felony counts relating to an alleged failure to file personal and business taxes. Now, you're saying, "Oh, the poor guy. Yeah. How long? What was the problem?" Well, first of all, his real name is Ned Arnell Holness. It's not Mencia. It's a totally fake name. He allegedly did not report $8.7 million worth of income between 2019 and 2024. A 5-year span, $8.7 million. He didn't even file. He was allegedly sent 78 notices from the California Franchise Tax Board about his unfiled returns. And they said just for California alone, that's $300,000 worth of state tax. Do you know how many illegal aliens that $300,000 would have given free health care to if they'd only paid his taxes?
That's one way to look at it, Mike. Good.
We're not even dealing with federal tax obligations. That's $300,000 just California, and he's on the California Franchise Tax Board's list of the 500 greatest tax delinquents in both personal and corporate income categories. This one guy, the mind of Mencia. I wonder if he minds all this attention. Anyway, the DA office in California has a newly established business tax fraud unit, and they're going to be extremely busy. You might remember him. He was on The Shield. He was on The Mind of Mencia. Of course, he was on Moesha, the Bernie Mac show, Comedy Central. Now, as his popularity grew, he earned a reputation, Mencia did, for stealing jokes. George Lopez and Joe Rogan are among those to accuse Mencia of ripping off their material, with Rogan and Mencia even once getting into a big public dispute over the matter.
I wouldn't mess with Joe Rogan.
No, you can't. He's got, he just wields the hammer, and you're out of the mix. You're out of the mix for good. I've had a wonderful and glorious week. Oh, wait, let me do one more news story.
What is it, Mike?
What the? Come on, why not?
Oh, my God.
It's about...
And now more news with Mike Adams.
Thank you, Bill Smith. In Cambridge, of course, the People's Republic of Cambridge.
Yep.
Now, and I've been told by a very good friend of mine, Smitty, to stay away from politics because it just pisses people off.
It's
true.
It is true. I get pissed off.
And I'm going to do that because, you can't agree with everybody in politics because you're on one side of the other. But I'm a centrist libertarian. I believe in the safety net, and I believe in fiscal responsibility for the government. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with that attitude, right?
That's correct.
Cambridge, the city whose own city manager has acknowledged growing troubling activity in Central Square tied to open-air drug use and heavy concentration of social services for the unhoused, is now considering a rule that would require bars and restaurants, Smitty, to make adult patrons wait 30 minutes between alcoholic drinks. Okay, so you got a beer, you drink it in 2 minutes, you're like, okay, well, you got to wait 28 minutes to get the next one, according to this proposed legislation, which is ridiculous, because sometimes you only have 20 minutes or a half an hour.
Is that from the time you finish it or from the time you order it?
Good point.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to discern that. What are they going to look, some asshole with a little stopwatch timing people, walking around going, no, you still have 3 more minutes. You know, this is the most ridiculous thing. Anyway, the Cambridge License Commission, a 3-person board made up of the chair, the fire chief, and the police commissioner, is rewriting Cambridge's bar regulations for the first time in 10 years. The 30-minute wait is one of several restrictions in the draft. Others include no alcoholic drinks served in the 20 minutes before closing. I mean, closing time, that's when you get your last call.
You would think.
No shots or bottles of wine served in the hour before closing. Okay, so no, you can't get a shot when there's still 45 minutes before they close. You can't get a shot. Give me a break. Drinks left on the table must be consumed within 15 minutes after closing, after which servers are required to discard them. And there's a lot of resistance, obviously, because this area, in the commercial heart of Cambridge, is reliant upon a lot of that income and the popularity of bars in that area. And then meanwhile, there's needles discarded in the street. There's people shooting up right there. They got to deal with one problem at a time. And the biggest problem is not, how long has it been since your last beer, Joe? Unbelievable. So that's how stupid they are there. We'll see what happens. It hasn't been passed yet, but it's proposed. But the people who propose this stuff, they're assholes. And I've said it right here on the program. Now, you're wondering why I wear this shirt today. Today is the 10th anniversary of me getting banged out of a radio station I worked at for a third of my life.
Remember that day you were unceremoniously removed?
Yeah. 1/3 of my life I spent at that radio station.
And you had great ratings.
It was actually more than a third back then, 10 years ago, because I was younger then. But, it's kind of like this is, and to me, I can wear this shirt and purge the bad memories because I had such great memories and made such great friends there. You, Glenn Ordway, I had a lot of friends in that building. And I had a couple of enemies, too. And you know who they are, Smith.
Yes, I think the enemies were responsible for your demise.
But I'm over it. Can't you tell?
I can tell you.
I'm completely over it.
Took a while.
But I pulled out just for fun, because Minahan was... this is a May 27th, 3 weeks before I got fired.
Yeah.
Kirk spent the morning show shitting on me, and it was amazing. So I complained through my agent to Phil Zachary, who was the kind of pussified general manager of the place. So he writes back, Mike and Ken, pardon the email. I wanted to touch both of you. I didn't want to risk a phone tag. I reviewed the 9 a.m. segment from yesterday's Dennis and Callahan show and basically heard, quote, Kirk being Kirk. For whatever reason, and God only knows, Mikey was his red meat for about 5 minutes. This is comparable to other rants we've heard about Dino, Lou, Glenn, Dale, Christian, and others. And it appears to be part of Kirk's self-proclaimed strategy to be a perpetual bad guy. It's certainly no program tactic. For what it's worth, both Jerry Callahan and Gary Tangway took Mikey's side and frankly made Kirk look like an even bigger asshole by so doing. It's this, quote, asshole Kirk that's made that show number 2 with adults 25 to 34 and launched his weekly podcast to number 1 on iTunes. Personally, I don't care for it, but there's no denying the ratings and revenue impact.
Now,
so basically...
this is an actual memo?
This is...
Right there.
Email.
It is. Yeah.
Over here.
All right.
And so he's basically saying, well, money talks, bullshit walks. We care about Kirk, even though he's an asshole, more than you, even though you've been here 23 years, and so we're going to let him get away with this. Yeah. And that's basically what they did. Well, 3 weeks later, I was fired. Now, this is what Phil Zachary sent out the day, June 21, the day after I was fired. This is funny, too. To all Intercom Boston employees, effective immediately, Mike Adams is no longer hosting the early evening show on WEEI. We arrived at this decision after lengthy and careful consideration of our present market position, as well as a number of longer-term strategic opportunities available to us, which was mutt for half my salary. Well, but that's okay. Over the next 3 or 4 months, we'll evaluate those options with an eye toward the next chapter of WEEI nighttime programming. In the meantime, the majority of weekday nights this summer will be occupied by Red Sox play-by-play. Well, you know what happened after that. If you have any concerns, please notify me, Kevin Graham or me. Kevin Graham, another pussy. Our goal is to make this a smooth transition for all involved. Thank you, Phil Zachary. So that was 10 years ago, though, Smitty.
Well, happy anniversary there, Mike. You okay?
My headphones came out.
Yeah, that's all right.
Is my head getting smaller?
A little bit, yeah.
You know, people used to say I had a swelled head.
You're taking the Jardiance?
Yeah, when I rub Jardiance on it, it gets all amped up. But that was 10 years ago tomorrow.
Well, happy anniversary, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. And my life has actually been better, with a few exceptions.
Oh?
Yeah. Let me tell you my woes from the week.
You have problems?
The woes of the week. First of all, a giant tree it's on the border of my yard and the neighbor's yard next door. My neighbor's very nice. She's cut down a lot of trees in her yard, but this one fell. It fell onto our trees in the yard. And so now my son's basketball hoop area behind the house on the driveway is covered with a tree. And the fence and everything, it just got... The tree it was a big old dead tree. And it's a mess. And I'm not really good at cutting limbs. I mean...
You don't have a chainsaw?
No. I used to do some tree work. I had a branch office. Actually, I worked out of my trunk. I'm sorry about the tree jokes. Anyway, I got a tree in my yard, and it's going to be dealt with. It's going to be costly, okay? You know what else is costly? When your refrigerator, and we have two in our house, one's upstairs, one's downstairs, and the one downstairs one we use to put extra frozen meat, pizzas, ice cream, stuff like that. Yeah. It shit the bed. Oh. By the way, it was made by Amana, and it ran perfectly for 12 years, but now it's gone. And I had to go buy another refrigerator. I went to Best Buy, and the delivery guys were great. Everything happened perfectly. That's over $1,000 out of my pocket. So you got the tree, you got the refrigerator. My son Andy, he needs to have his wisdom teeth out. That'll be a couple grand anyway for an oral surgeon. I'm sure that. But God bless him, he's a good kid. He don't want to go through life with bad wisdom teeth because it's irritating. Yeah. I got a tax bill for the first time in years. Usually I get a rebate of a few thousand.
Yeah.
This year I got a tax bill for $3,000. Oh. It went the other way, and I don't know why. Might have been all those oil futures I sold, but I don't know. So that's more money. $3,000 more I got to pay all of a sudden. It's like, my Lincoln has an engine light on, and I went to have it checked out at AutoZone. Tell me what's this problem? They say, ignition coil. Oh God! So that's going to be more. Let's see. I got more, but I don't want to be one of those complaining, bitchy type people.
Well,
that do nothing but bitch and moan about it. But all of a sudden, when it rains, it pours.
You could take your car to Express Tire and Auto Service in Watertown. They've been there since 1950.
I'm going to, but I got what? First things first.
What is it?
Let's play the commercial for them, and if they like it, then we'll run it.
What do you think? Do you think they're going to like it at all?
I think they will, yeah. I think it's highly professional. Yeah. And they are, totally great company. Hey, when you're there, all the people that walk into to Express Tire, when I was standing there,
yeah.
Hey, how you doing? They knew them by name. And they were packed and busy. Because you know why they're busy? Because they're good. Because they know what they're doing, and they don't treat you like a jerk. They treat you like family. It's true.
That's usually how that works. It's like word of mouth, I guess.
At least my vaporizer works, right, Smitty?
Yes, Mike.
That's big.
Yeah.
Now that I have a new refrigerator downstairs, I can load it up with Snapple and pure leaf iced tea, raspberry, my favorite drinks, even though they're no longer made from the best stuff on earth.
It's true. In a plastic bottle of all things.
And you're enjoying one right now.
Yeah, I
Can we
got
get
one.
a shot of you drinking that thing?
Yeah, hold on a second.
It will not be an endorsement. It'll just be you drinking a
See if
Snapple.
I can see. Where am I? Here I am.
There he is, see? Snapple. Right there. See that?
Yeah.
Now, why isn't Snapple sponsoring our show?
I don't know. You told me once you've consumed maybe thousands of gallons.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Well, again, it was 3 a day, 1,000 Snapples a year for 30 years. That's 30,000 Snapples. But we're not going to get Jardiance as an advertiser now after I gave him a hard time about the anus and genital swelling.
Well, it's in their own disclaimer, isn't it?
At my age, any swelling of your genitals is fine. It's fine. It doesn't bother. So all those complaints aside, I still have a couple other complaints, though, but they're not related to me or my personal finances. I saw a thing on TV. It showed a graphic, the 6 worst states in America for unemployment fraud.
Really?
Yeah, people filing false unemployment claims. They are Illinois,
Yep.
where that fat Governor Pritzker works. New York, are you surprised? New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. I just wanted to mention that because we were all over the place on the fraud thing. You know, the home health, the kids care.
We made the list.
It's unbelievable. This state needs serious oversight, and I want it now. There.
You're not getting political, are you?
No, that's not political. That's actual. Most people in Massachusetts, I don't care what your particular party of favor is, independent, Democratic, or Republican, or voodoo. You want the fraud out of the system because you know it hurts the costs for everybody. You know that. So get it out. Hire some people for one thing: finding fraud and prosecuting fraud, because fraud is bad. Okay.
Now, hold on. At the beginning of this show, remember we heard this?
Yes.
Hold on now.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Holy crap! It's that time at last. You chose to listen to the Planet Mikey podcast.
Yeah.
Now, this is the part where I'm very interested in this right here.
What?
While at the market today, Mikey bumped into his old radio friend
Oh.
Bob, the guy that fired Mikey, the #1 rated guy in the city.
Now, since it's been 10 years since you've been fired from WEEI,
Yeah.
you were also fired when you were the #1 personality
Yeah.
on that station.
That was only 4 years ago.
And you were just summarily dismissed.
Well, you know, what it was this.
What happened?
The guy that ran that station, and that's the guy I ran into at the grocery store,
Yeah.
Bob Goodell, wanted to recreate a station he used to be a sales representative at, which was WAAF.
Yeah.
So he brought in, Mike Shue, who's been on this podcast, and Mistress Carey, who's been on this podcast. And Chuck Perks is there. You know, he was a production guy at
We love Chuck.
So he wanted to recreate AAF, but they didn't have those people back when AAF was still on the air before they went out of business. And they asked me if I could do the afternoons, and it was during COVID. I did the show from my house. I said, yeah.
So they didn't say temporarily. They just
No, they just, and it was shit pay, but it didn't matter. I was doing it from my house.
Yeah.
So it was a piece of cake. And then they decided to put Mistress Carey in the afternoon slot. And I understand that. If they're going to try to recreate AAF, I never worked at AAF.
Yeah.
So they brought in Mistress Carey and blew me out. But that was after they told me that I'd had the highest afternoon ratings in men, 25 to 40, that they've ever had. So I said, well, normally you don't get fired when the ratings go up. You get fired when they go down.
Yeah.
But I was out of there anyway, and I didn't care because I was still home.
So what was it like when you confronted Bob after all this
Well,
time?
I didn't confront him.
I don't mean confront him. I mean, you met him and you
I
said
kicked
hello.
him in the nuts.
You said,
I was in the nuts aisle.
you know.
No, what happened was he walked by me and I said, who's this guy? Oh, yeah. Oh, that big, giant blob?
You exchanged pleasantries?
That's Bob Goodell. He's the one that made that decision.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, hey. He goes, oh, how you doing? I said, you still using all those recycled AAF guys at your station? He says, yeah. Yeah. I said, well, I don't ever listen, so. And then I just left.
That
I
was
walked
it?
away. Yeah. It wasn't mean. I could have been a lot meaner, but I just, I got respect for the guy.
Did you feel like being mean?
No.
No.
I was in the grocery store where I'm always happy.
Yeah.
You know, like this, putting stuff in the basket, going this, oh yeah, wow, ring dings. Sorry. So I'm going a little nuts today because it's that anniversary, you know,
Yeah.
of that momentous event, which changed my entire life and my wardrobe. But I also have you know what condoms are, Smitty?
I do know what condoms are.
I'm surprised that you do.
Yeah, I do. I'm very familiar with them.
Well, I was, thinking about how smart it is for a lot of people, because, I'm kind of pro-life. If you want to prevent pregnancy, then as a guy, you want to take a condom out and pull it out of that little wrapper. And if you're not going to blow it up and then pop it for fun like you do with balloons, then you're going to have to use it to prevent potential pregnancies.
So this is like a sexual segment on the Planet Mikey podcast?
Well,
here?
these are all warnings written by people all over the country about condom use, and some of them are mildly humorous. Would you like to hear the list?
Go ahead, Mikey. Tell us about the condoms.
I'll go through these fast because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cover your stump before you hump. Before you attack her, wrap your whacker. Don't be silly. Protect your willy. You can't go wrong if you shield your dong. If you're not going to sack it, go home and whack it. If you think she's spunky, cover your monkey. If you go into heat, package your meat. While you're undressing Venus, dress up your penis. Wrap it in foil before you check her oil. Sex is cleaner with a packaged wiener. Avoid a frown. Contain your clown. Cloak the joker before you poke her.
Oh, man.
Don't surprise her. Plug your geyser.
Did you make these up?
No. I don't have time for this kind of silliness.
Oh.
Protect her wrinkle before you sprinkle. She won't bristle if you wrap your whistle. House your noodle, then release your strudel. It's always funky to cage your monkey. Don't be a fool. Cover your tool. Now, here's one for our gay listeners. Condomize, then sodomize. Cover your pipe, you dumbass wipe. Bag the mole, then do the hole. Cuff your carrot before you share it. Protect your dink and fluff her mink.
How many of these are there?
I just got a couple more.
This is pretty good.
Plug your funnel, then enter the tunnel. Sock that wanger before you bang her. Garnish your oak, then give her a poke. Restrain your hammer, then wham bammer. Cover your diddle, then fiddle her middle. Can your spam, then bam that ma'am. Cover old Bart, then dart her tart. Bag your elm, then take the helm. Blanket old Juicy, then plug old Lucy. And finally, balloon your baboon, and then moon tune her poon. What's wrong with this list? I didn't write this.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
That was very good, Mike.
Well, the thing is, if you can remember just one of them, you can avoid future problems.
That's true.
I don't think there's any question about that.
It's like a public service announcement from the Planet Mikey podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
And if it went a little left to center, then screw you.
Hey, did you know Eddie Andelman?
I did, and I was saddened to hear of his passing at age 89. I did a lot of things with Eddie Andelman on the radio station,
Yeah.
And TV shows that he had, and he was a very, very interesting, one-of-a-kind guy.
I always got along with him. We had some good laughs.
I did
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, I know he had some people he didn't get along with within the framework of the WEEI community there.
Yeah.
But he was, because you couldn't cage this animal. He was crazy, and funny, and he's got a very tight family. I know all of his sons.
Yep.
And I hope he rests in peace. And I hope that because they were very, very tight with their dad.
It's another radio legend has gone away.
So rest in peace to Eddie Andelman. Now, we usually close the podcast, as most people know, with some musical entertainment. I
Yep.
queued one up here for
You
Joe
know,
and Jerry.
I have one thing that I want to interrupt.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to show you a picture.
A picture?
Yeah. Remember the other day when it was really blistery, rotten hot?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, how about this?
Hey, there's Buddy the dog.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Get his pool out already?
We got the pool out. We filled it up. He got in and just plopped right down.
and
just,
said,
just
thank
laid
you,
down.
Smitty, for that.
Just thought you'd like to see that because, well, it's Buddy the dog.
Buddy's 11 years old now, and he's your best friend, and he is a great, great dog. I see him every single time I come in here, and he gets all excited because I always give him a lot of biscuits.
It's true.
You know, and he's very funny. He does a lot of tricks that are amazing, and he's a wonderful, I was going to say human being, but he's not. He's like a human being.
Yeah.
He's got a personality and everything. It's great. He's a good boy. But so are you ready? Do you have the controls under control?
I got everything under control.
All right. So if I play this for Joe and Jerry, then maybe we can get them to do this song for us,
I can show your avatar if you like.
because it's that kind of weather. Yeah, you should.
Yeah, hold on.
It's the kind of weather where this is going to be timely.
There he
I
is.
believe. Here he is. Okay, ready?
Yep. You can begin at any
Okay,
time.
here we
Mike.
go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe, Jerry. Right here, Mike. Right here, Mike. Brother bought a coconut. He bought it for a dime. His sister had another that she traded for a lime. She put the lime in the coconut. She drank them both up.
She put the lime in the coconut. She drank them both up, Joe.
She put the lime in the coconut. She drank them both up. She put the lime in the coconut. She called the doctor, woke him up, and said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, to relieve my bellyache." I said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, can you believe it? I've got a bellyache."
Now let me get this straight. You put the lime in the coconut. You drink them both up. You put the lime in the coconut, Joe. You drink them both up. You put the lime in the coconut. You drink them both up, and then you put the lime in the coconut, and
You call the doctor, woke him up, said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?"
I said, "Doctor, to relieve this belly ache." I said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor."
Try Jardiance. You put the lime in the coconut first. Then you drink them both together. You put the lime in the coconut and you'll feel better.
Put the lime in the coconut, drink them both up, then you put the lime in the coconut, shove it up your butt.
Oh, yeah. Call me in the morning. That's what the doctor said. That's what they always say.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 Joe. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh.
Brother bought a coconut. He bought it for a dime. He shoved it up his ass and said, "Maybe another time."
You're kind of an asshole, Joe.
Thank you, True.